I'm back again. I was on like yesterday at 1 a.m. This will be the first time. I streamed twice, 14 hours apart. Let's first start off by just doing whatever it is we do. Let everyone know we're streaming, because we probably don't have anyone live right now. Streaming now at gonna try to watch SK versus Stranded. Yeah, so today we're gonna go over SK versus Stranded. Apex Grand Finals happened like half an hour ago, maybe. Am I right about that? I feel like it was half an hour ago. That would be hype. Anyway, this is gonna be like the quickest analysis I've ever done of any game after it's done. So I'm gonna try and find the link. I'm gonna try and find the link right now. It'll probably be on NASSB. Looking. All these Jiffy cats, GIFE cats. Apex. Team USA. Oh, by the way, this is going to be a very spoiler-intense stream, so I suggest you watch the Apex videos before what is it? Before you like watch the stream. Like, this is mostly for the people who watched it live more than anything else. I kind of want to get this out of the way. Okay, I found it. Oh my god, finally. I kind of want to analyze this game because it's the first like high-level Kirby game I've seen in a while, which is pretty exciting to me. Also, we got some more Twitch technology. Oh man, it had better be up. Finals day. Oh, it had better be up, man. How do we... Maybe... Yeah, let's try this. I think that works. Let's zip way ahead. Oh. Stranded versus Star King. Okay. Cool. So we're gonna go over this this set, SK versus Stranded. I heard that left and right, someone instructed me that left and right moves forward and backwards 5 seconds. Oh my god, they're right too. Okay. So I watched this live and I thought I saw something that SK was doing that I didn't like, but overall I was really liking what Star King was doing. So let's see, here's the pause button. So, the thing I noticed was SK's kind of gonna let Stranded get away with too much, I think. As Kirby, you really have to put Kirby back, like, super hard. You sent me some matches last night? Alright, I'll go over them after this. It's just, I kinda saw this and I was like, oh, I have to stream now. Yeah, in this matchup, it's like so important for Kirby to use absolutely any sort of pressure he has on Pika, right? Because if you just play a standard neutral against Pika, like, you can just dominate Pika in neutral, have no threats one way, and you're just like, Pika's gonna win anyway, right? Kirby has to do a lot in this matchup, and you really have to learn like every little advantage you can get. Hey Ducks, how's it going? See you again. Remember your name. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's hop right into this game. Pause button isn't working. Okay, good. Alright. So that doesn't matter. Starking's doing pretty well right now. Doing a good job contesting top platform. That runoff nair is pretty good. Since Stranded spaced himself so close. Since we have this 5-second technology, let's watch this. Let's watch this nair. So Stranded, oh, not there. Watch where Stranded lands, right? You can kind of see that Stranded has not landed at the very edge of the platform. And what this means is that a runoff nair is actually very scary for Pika in that situation. So that's actually a pretty good. That was like the idea there was pretty good from Starking, but he doesn't get a lot off of it because he doesn't land on the platform. This nair is strong only if you land on the platform. He may have backed up to try and minimize losses, but that's not too important. I think that didn't change the outcome of this game, right? That was interesting. I think Stranded could have applied more pressure back on Starking there, maybe even forced contact. But this is a very difficult. Let's take a step back again. This is a very difficult situation for Kirby to break. When Kirby's top platform and Pika's side platform, Kirby has to go really high and drop really low with a down air. Like this back air, these shorter aerials aren't very effective at taking space against Pika. Kirby really needs a lot of vertical in order to claim space. It's actually one of his biggest problems. Like against people with worse control, oftentimes you can get away with movements like that, but you can see that Pika can just throw out an up tilt and it's not at all comfortable for Kirby. If you're not high enough up, you don't have a strong enough fast fall mix up. So Kirby really has to get a lot of horizontal space, then a lot of vertical space, and then contest space. So like if Starking like stick jumped, I would really like that. Like jumped and gotten up here. That could have been really strong, right? But this is a little bit weaker. That was a good fair. Good job catching him. Good grab. Now watch. Stranded is kind of poking at SK's space, and SK's kind of backing up, right? But then SK will try and make contact center stage and just gets punished for it. Kirby doesn't really feel comfortable making contact. Plus, additionally, that nair, even if it hit, he wouldn't have gotten a lot of stuff off of it. Snosa 2 bracket's about to start. I'm aware of this, but it's top 32. I only really care about top 8 at that tournament. Top 8 is like what I really want to see. So I'm just going to go over this at the moment. Get it out of the way so I can see top 8 afterwards. Yeah. Just hitting Pikachu oftentimes isn't enough for Kirby, right? Because Kirby gets very little off of that. But Kirby actually gets a lot off of space, right? If Pikachu's pinned in the corner, Kirby is more likely to get a kill than if Kirby lands a nair. It's one of those awkward matchups that, like, a lot of the time, if you can make contact with like a high probability, oftentimes you just don't go for it because the space is just so valuable. Fighting on the ground. So we talked actually a good amount about this yesterday. I looked at Boom playing this matchup, and this situation happened a bunch, right? Or no, it really didn't happen a bunch. This situation wasn't really going on. Boom wasn't interacting a lot on the ground, or probably it seemed more like Z wasn't really interacting at center stage. because Z felt that Kirby wins at center stage. But oh. So we're kind of seeing like a lot of troubles Starking's having right now, right? He's just playing the neutral standardly as you do, and it's just not good enough in this matchup. Like, I'd say Starking is kind of dominating the neutral right now. Like, he's kind of pushing Stranded around, but it's not really as organized, right? It's not like... There's not a spot that Starking knows he wants to engage him at. He just kind of wants to hit him, but he's not really getting good enough hits. You have to know where it's easy for you to land good hits, which is, like, super tricky in this matchup. Yeah, I'd say SK's beating him in neutral. Like, a lot of this game. It's just Pikachu can potentially get more off of contact, right? Kirby can get so little off of contact. Kirby will never kill off of contact. Best he has is an edge guard. And even then, a lot of the times, it's not perfect. Yeah, like, just... It's so easy for Pikachu. Anyway, enough complaining. Let's look at things that Starking can improve on now, right? We understand he's playing a very strong neutral. He's applying a lot of pressure. He's generally beating him on the ground. But what's he missing, right? Because spoilers, very spoilers. If you haven't watched this set, don't listen to this. But so Starking loses this set, 3-0, but it's not very convincing. I think Snosus started. It was supposed to start at 4 p.m. Eastern, so hop on their stream if you want to see the early matches. I'm just going to do this. What was I saying? Yeah, so since he lost this, he's obviously missing something, right? So let's pay close attention to small, suboptimal plays Starking's playing. Places where he could have probably done better. So now he's off stage. That's like about as well as invincibility can go for Stranded. Stranded does not capitalize off of that though. So the only problem I had with that read is it was so committal, right? Like, if you try to do that against Boom, what'll happen? If you're right, you get the stock, and if you're wrong, Boom will edge guard you and take the stock, right? Like, that was a very 50-50. I take your stock or you take my stock. And if you look at it from that perspective, looking at what their percents were at, 0% for Kirby, high percent for Pika, that's not a good 50-50. Pika will take that 50-50 any day, right? Since it's a 50-50, you can view it as like a trade, right? Would you trade a Pika 63% stock for a Kirby 0% stock? Probably not. But it doesn't look like Stranded capitalizes perfectly. He sort of messes up the edge guard. So that back air was a hard read. The reason I say hard read is that since Stranded didn't go for that option, since Stranded didn't get hit by that back air, SK is kind of in an awkward situation right now. So let's see. Yeah, he squeezes in with the Nair, but that was not a comfortable situation for Starking, like, at all. That's kind of a situation you want to avoid. It's like low percent success. So that was, I actually like that option from Starking. That jump, just to read the tech in place, that's okay. Because what happens in the other situation? Stranded techs this way, and all of a sudden you're applying a lot of pressure. Starking just has to maintain this pressure, look for a time disadvantage, so like at some point where Stranded either whiffs an attack, maybe he's landing, something like that. So Starking now has to look for a time advantage since he has a space advantage, and abuse that. But he kinda commits to Stranded going up here, so he really heavily covers one option instead of lightly covering many. And it turned out that lightly would have given you the stock at this percent anyway. Instead of being patient and waiting for the landing, Starking immediately rushes to try and hit a forward air. And Stranded can sneak out with this up B tactic. So let's think about why this is objectively a bad forward air from Starking. Okay? Okay, so let's think in this situation. Ignore the up B from Stranded. What are Stranded's options? We could obviously up B. He could run this way, like dash grab. He could shore hop, or he could jump to the platform, right? So, what this forward air beats is it beats jumping to the platform. Okay, so yeah, it beats jumping to the platform. And it applies pressure to the dash grab also. Excuse me. Aw, damn it. It hurts so much when you want to sneeze and then just like you don't. Anyway. So the option covered by this immediate jump fair by Starking is jumping to this side platform. Okay. What happens if Stranded jumps to the side platform and Starking does nothing? Well then, this jump can be reacted to with Starking, and then Starking can do a forward air on reaction, or like a dash back air, whichever he prefers. And that actually just deals with this jump to side platform as well, if not better, than this immediate jump forward air. So it turns out that like by like really wanting to go for like a hard punish, because people usually think if you're going for like a hard read, then you have potentially higher rewards. By going for like a hard read, Starking actually gets a worse punish than if he had just waited here for the option he was covering. Like, if what he thought would happen, his decision is still worse, I would say. And additionally, it covers other options, or not worse, but just as like no better. The hard read is no better than the soft read. And additionally, it covers the other options worse. And yeah, Stranded easily escapes. So you have to get really good at pinning people in the corner, otherwise space means very little. The reason you space is so that you can push someone into the corner, because that's like really what spatial advantage is on this stage. Someone's in the corner, you're at top platform. One of these like very important parts of the stage. Like if you're at any other point, you don't have spatial advantage. And if every time you have spatial advantage, your opponent just escapes, then there's no real point in fighting for a spatial advantage, right? You're kind of wasting it. It's almost like if every time you're top platform, you fast fall down air, and you just like miss the fast fall down air. Like even if like reading, it's like if they're here, you're top platform, and you read them dashing with a fast fall down air every single time, and then like you've given up your massive spatial advantage, and not only that, but you potentially gave them the spatial advantage if they went for like a jump here and potentially a double jump up here, right? You have to be very careful about that. So that's a big thing for Starking potentially in this game. You'll notice he goes for like a lot of hard reads, which are okay. He has like a lot of really solid approaches in this way. But yeah, that's the thing I'd suggest Starking deals with. The other thing is what just happened. This is another large part of SK's neutral. Stranded jumps. Okay, how is SK going to react to this jump? Run back jump. This feels pretty suboptimal to me, because what you're doing is you're saying if Stranded like goes really deep, I can back air him, but if he goes slightly less deep, I don't really have the back air. And additionally, if he like lands here, it's hard for me to land. So this dash back jump, threatening a back air, is actually like pretty weak or it's certainly worse than what we saw Boom do yesterday, which is Boom pivots back and then dash grabs when Pikachu lands, because the dash grab has a larger threat, right? This back air will hurt Pika if he lands here, and will lose to Pika if he lands here, whereas the dash grab threatens this entire space. Additionally, you give up less space when you pivot back. So the dash grab does everything this does, only better, because it holds your space better. So you're getting more threats per unit space, right? Okay. You could also wave your up tilt, but I'm starting to like that less, because I think Pika actually trades pretty well with that. But that's what I do. I go for up tilt in a situation like this as an anti-air instead of pressuring the landing. But Boom pressures the landing, so that's a big, super massive big thing I'm changing in my play. Okay. Okay, so we saw, oh no. I can't. Sorry about this stream. Twitch has very awkward controls. So that jump back air, what did that function as? Let's see what function that motion had. Right, what purpose it served. This back air, this beats stranded jumping like this. Alternatively, it doesn't really look that scary to anything else Stranded can do, right? Like if Stranded just does that, which is what he ends up doing, or if he like just short hops, short hop goes in even, or if he just like dashes forwards, this may have been a reactionary back air. It kind of feels like that. But like, this only beat one of Stranded's jump options. Whereas you can see, if Stranded goes for any other option, this all of a sudden, let's jump ahead a second. This becomes a very uncomfortable position for Star King, right? So that's why this jump back air is bad. Because if you guess wrong, and it's not like any weight, like, oh, then just guess right. That's like a just bad way to interpret that. If your opponent does something weird that you don't expect, anything other than what you think they're going to do, you're going to be in a bad position, right? And let's think about what Star King could have potentially done instead to cover that option, right? So Star King was down here, Stranded was here. What does Boom do? All right, let's. We went over Boom's options in neutral last game. Boom pivots here. He just stands here. Especially, I think Star King was here. Sorry, I think Stranded was here. SK was here. Boom would just pivot here, and then he'd be like, "Oh, isn't my up tilt so scary?" And since you're at this close proximity, this jump, if Star King were here, is very scary for Pika, right? Pika can't really land when you have this up tilt waving, so he has to back up. So just pivoting in reaction to this jump at this, at this space, covers this jump a lot. I would say just as well, because you don't really get a lot off of this back air, whereas like an up tilt you can potentially get, or you get no less off of an up tilt, right? So you have like identical punishes, a weak back air or an up tilt. They basically do the same damage. However, this is far less safe, because if you predict wrong, you're in an uncomfortable situation. Where if you pivot in, all of a sudden you can do whatever you want, right? You haven't committed to any option the way you have in this. Your situation isn't uncomfortable if you're just a Kirby standing here in this situation, right? So that's a thing to consider that I think may have been a better option for Star King. Because like, look, just a second later, Star King would have been here, and the up tilt would have beaten this back air. Or it may not have beaten it, but it would have been pretty good for Star King, I think. Now, Stranded doesn't even capitalize that well off of this whiffed back air. Like, he whiffs the up air. The back air wasn't really a good option to cover it. So Stranded did a suboptimal punish of a suboptimal play. So maybe let's try and make that more clear. Starking went for an option that was bad because it was beatable, and then Stranded chose to not beat it, essentially, is what happened there. He just went for like a suboptimal play. He didn't cover it as hard as he should. Okay, cool. I think that makes sense. 4:30. Oh, 4:30. 15 minutes. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's keep going. You have to be super careful when falling on... Let's look at that again. You have to be super careful when falling on Pika, but it's very important to show Pika that you're willing to do it. So even though that you might be like, oh, well, Pikachu was just standing there. This up tilt is like the easiest thing of Stranded's life. The easiest back air of Stranded's life, or whatever, right? But, and it turns out it's not that easy to up tilt this. And additionally, you want to scare Stranded from running in a direction you don't want him to. I would actually prefer if Starking hard covered center stage, because like if Starking predicts Stranded to be in center stage a lot, he essentially makes it inviable for Stranded to sit at center stage, right? So he'll have this block chopped off, where like Stranded doesn't really want to be there when Starking's at top platform, because he knows Starking is covering that a bunch, right? But because of this, all of a sudden, you're kind of indirectly denying center stage, right? Yeah, it's kind of awkward. You want to indirectly deny center stage from Pika, I think, because Kirby has a lot of trouble like directly shutting it off. Kirby has a lot of problems like this, where he can't just like cover an option easily. He'll have to like just make his opponent afraid of going for that option, because he's like, yeah, I just have a thing I have that beats that like all the time. Cool. By the way, it's hilarious that the chat was freaking out. Oh my god, Starking uses keyboard. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I can't believe he's using a keyboard. Oh my god. That was just another risky edgeguard. Kinda, it seems like currently the theme for Starking is that he's choosing suboptimal punishes a lot. He's not punishing Stranded as hard as maybe he could. For a lot of things, he's reading, but he's going for very deep reads, right? Instead of these sort of lighter, softer reads. Goes for very heavy, very hard reads. That was weird. Sound just came through my headset, but it's not even plugged in. That was like extremely spooky. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. What was Stranded's optimal punish on the whiffed back air? It was a little tricky in his situation. He could have, I think, fast fell short hop back aired. He could have fast fell, jump naired once the nair finished. He could have landed an up air. Nair could work, but he'd have to wait for the back air to be over, which is a little trickier to land. It's trickier, but Stranded has pretty good execution, so he'd probably be able to do it if he was looking for it well enough. It's hard to say what someone's optimal punish is, right? Because the problem is you don't know if something's optimal. You can only know if it's suboptimal. You only see punishes and the things that beat it. So, as it was, he was just too late with the up air. Too late or too early, I think. He could have done it earlier or later. I don't know if I liked up air at that percent. I probably liked back air or nair better, just because SK was so close to 0. Alternatively, Stranded could have just landed on the ground and been super scary with his up tilt, right? Just been like, alright, I'm going to stand here, and so instead of trying to make contact, he could have turned the time he had into space, right? He could have just, I guess let's take a step back. Imagine here, if Stranded, after this back air, he just lands here, and Starking's falling. Well, Starking can't fall here because the up tilt's too scary, so he has to fall this way, but then the dash grab is extremely scary because Kirby's air mobility is so slow. So then SK is forced to jump, but the moment SK jumps, he's extremely vulnerable. So, Stranded, if he wanted, and if this turned out to be, if he didn't think he could hit Starking in this situation, with like any sort of like reasonable, half-decent hit, he could choose to just stand here, threaten the up tilt, force a jump from Starking, and then punish the jump. That's totally fine for Stranded to do in this situation. Alternatively, land an up tilt, which also would have gotten a way better punish than just an up air, right? You don't always have to punish with contact. You can punish with space too. Yeah, because Starking's problem here is somewhat that he has like this back air that he has to wait for it to finish, but it's almost more that he's just kind of up high, really close to Stranded, right? Like, he's at this awkward angle that Kirby really doesn't like. He's within anti-air range if Stranded lands. If he jumps, he's still within back air range of Stranded. It's just like a really nasty situation for Starking here, spatially, right? So, Stranded could choose to abuse that over just forcing contact, right? It's an option. I might like that. It's often an option that's hard to go for, though. It's hard to justify. Because optimizing like that on the spot's a lot trickier. Oh, I would have liked to down tilt there, but yeah, that's an option I go for, just the jab. We saw the back air. This jump from Starking seems confusing, because Stranded has this back air that's pretty scary, but he didn't go for it. Oh, I would have liked to down arrow for a forward air. A down air or a back air. Because again, he kind of wants to cover as close to center stage as possible. Especially early in the set, right? Yeah. So... Okay. So A, we've identified one problem in Starking's game thus far, right? Whoa. We've identified A. Starking is choosing, going for hard reads when they offer no more significant a punish than a soft read. So he could optimize what he chooses to read with a little bit better, right? That's one thing Starking can improve. Okay, cool. And I said at the beginning that let's pay attention for stuff Starking isn't punishing hard enough, right? And we always think back to the triangle, right? That triangle I came up with like ages ago, where you have your space, predictability, and the thing that goes here, time. So we found out that when making predictions, yeah, as Starking is predicting Stranded, he doesn't do it well enough. He's doing it a little bit suboptimally. So that might be a thing for him to really think about. Like, what do I want to land? Is that really feasible? How many options does this cover? Is this option better than this option? Why? When might it be better? Right? Like, really knowing it, like, cognitively, but then additionally working it into his intuition. Two very important things. But what else is there here? Well, we could talk about how he's spacing, but I was also saying at the beginning that Starking was doing a really good job outspacing Stranded. However, if you remember, at that one point, at that one part, we saw that Starking had gotten stranded in the corner, and what he did was he opted for a prediction over some sort of confirmed punish, right? So again, it seemed like he was doing this thing where he was punishing. He was doing a good job capitalizing on Stranded's bad spacing, but then he's only getting like medium returns off of the space he has, right? So Starking also has to work on that, right? He's good at getting a spatial advantage, but once he has the spatial advantage, he has to really get confirmed punishes off of it. He has to really understand how to convert like a spatial advantage into a stock, right? Very important. So that was the second thing that it seemed like Starking was having a bit of trouble with. And then the third thing is potentially time, right? So let's keep an eye on time. What is time? So time is when they whiff an attack, you're given time, right? When they whiff an attack, and when they land. There's also like turnaround and other things, but those get more specific and more difficult to just like think in terms of this. Okay, so let's just keep an eye out for these two things. So watch when Stranded lands, and see how Starking is dealing with it. Okay, so fresh stock for Starking. Let's see how this is gonna go. Oh, damn it. It's so irritating. Okay. Okay, so there, Stranded landed close, but Starking wasn't really in a good spot to punish it. Okay, it's hard to position like that though. There, Stranded landed, and Starking wasn't really pressuring it at all in that situation. Let's watch here. I'm more looking for jumps in neutral, because those are the most important. But you see, Stranded is having some very obvious landings here, and Starking isn't really pressuring it. That landing there, Starking kind of pressured it with a pivot up tilt, but the up tilt wasn't necessary. I would have preferred just a pivot there, I think, because he wasn't really worried. Or rather, the up tilt didn't really threaten much from Stranded. Waiting on the up tilt, I think, would have been like a really solid option. And there, when Starking did that thing again, where he pivoted back and jumped as Stranded is landing. So Starking is jumping when Stranded is landing, which isn't really putting any pressure on Stranded's landings. How are you supposed to punish a Pika landing if he can up tilt so quickly afterwards? So I agree that if he's facing away, it's pretty tricky. You can F smash, you can down tilt, you can dash attack, you can dash grab. Those are like the four best ways to do it. Boom dash grabs like a ton. If Pika's facing forwards, it's like a lot easier. But yeah, if Pika's facing backwards, alternatively, if you see that they're up tilting a lot, you can bait out an up tilt, and that's like really easy. Like good Pikas don't up tilt the moment they land, because if they miss, they just get super screwed, right? Like Derek does that, and it catches people. But other than him, I don't really know Pikas that just up tilt the moment they land, because you should be in range to dash grab within their reaction time, right? So that they can't react to the dash with an up tilt. Okay. So it seems like Starking isn't really putting any time pressure on Stranded. He's playing him a lot in the neutral. In fact, he's beating him in the neutral. But as we went over in this thing, he's not getting a lot off of the neutral because A, his predictions aren't perfect. Or sorry, he's going for a lot of reads that aren't turning out, instead of spacing. I think I'd prefer to say it like that. So often, Starking will go for a prediction when there's just like a really solid flowcharted punish that would have been better. Okay, I think that makes sense. So it seems like Starking is pretty good at, or really reliant on predictions. And he's also really good at not being very predictable. It seems like that Starking actually understands this pretty well now that I'm thinking about it, reflecting on the match. He understands like a predictability and reading aspect of the game pretty well. But oftentimes, if you have the choice between predicting or just like doing something that covers all options, it should be pretty clear that covering all options is better. Or like sometimes it is. Sometimes a prediction can be good too. Like you never want to get too reliant on predictability. It's probably like the least safe of these three options, right? Time is a little less safe than predictability, and space is extremely safe, right? This is like your permanent resource, right? Okay. I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, so he's outspacing Stranded, but not getting a lot off of it. So he's getting a spatial advantage and then predicting. And those are his punishes. So he has to optimize those punishes, and additionally, he has to optimize his punishes on landing. So he has to know what he's looking for, right? And he has to know what he can punish, and look for that, right? Beyond like reading, just for like specific stuff. Like this jump was bad because if he had just like dash back, dash grabbed, like right outside of where Stranded could have up tilted, like just outside the range, then if Stranded up tilts, he's fucked. So Stranded kind of has to dash back or jump. If Stranded like commits too heavily, he'll just get grabbed, right? Boom does that a lot. The timing's tricky. There, what happened? Let's look at that again. So this landing isn't pressured, right? The next landing wasn't pressured. This landing isn't really pressured. He opted for defense, like a defensive up tilt, which is pretty good. It covers this, so Stranded has to land outside of that. Versus like, what's the term? There's like, active defense versus static defense. So this is a static defense. You throw out a hitbox that covers this option. A more active, an active defense, I think Starking was facing this way, would have been to pivot back so that your dash grab would have gone this far, right? And then maybe like walk forward as Stranded starts to fade back or something, right? That would have been an active defense, which in this case covers more options. So I really want to see Starking even could have F-smashed once he noticed that Stranded wasn't going in. How's this landing going to get punished? Starking pivoted back a lot there, and then he jumps, same as last time. He's jumping whenever Pika's jumping. And he's getting, like again, he's good at predicting. It's just there are very confirmed punishes he's not going for, right? Yeah, Starking plays like a phenomenal neutral. And he's like really good. He plays a phenomenal neutral. He's really good at like getting reads on his opponent. He's really like good at staying unpredictable. However, he just doesn't pick the right punishes a lot of the time. And he doesn't pressure all the things he can. Like sometimes he'll go for like, he'll try and defend from an option instead of pressuring the option, right? He'll be like, this isn't a good option because I can just dash grab you. Instead he'll be like, if you go for that option, I'll up tilt you, right? Which is the more obvious way of dealing with it, but sometimes the active defense, sometimes it turns out better, right? Oh, and then this bullshit edge guard. I wanted to see Starking win this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like Stranded. He's a cool guy. but I want to see Starking win this. Damn it. Anyway, I think those are some things for Starking to work on. Yeah, those are some things for Starking to think about. Hopefully integrate into his play. Overall, I think... what's even happening? Oh, okay. Overall, he's really good at a lot of stuff. He spent most of the game outspacing Stranded. It's just... Pika's punishes are so much better than Kirby that Kirby has to take absolutely every single opportunity he can possibly get, right? And every single punish has to be optimized as much as you possibly can. So, like, Starking going for, like, a very read-heavy play as opposed to, like, the confirmed, more confirmed, slightly more optimized options was really hurting him. The fact he wasn't punishing Stranded's jumps, or sorry, the fact that he wasn't pressuring Stranded's landings, which essentially punishes a jump. The fact he wasn't doing that really hurt him in neutral. And in this case, Stranded was respecting him too much anyway, so it didn't turn out too bad for the neutral. But the fact he wasn't pressuring it kind of hurt him a lot in terms of punishes. He could have hit Stranded a lot more than he did, with a lot better moves than he did. Just by pressuring the landings a little bit better. But it's just so hard, man. Fuck. It's a hard matchup. Shouts to both the players, though. I really enjoyed the match. If I get, like, excited about a match and, like emotional, like pissed, or like I have some sort of opinion on it, then it was a good set, I think. I like this set. This was a good set. Starking didn't play optimally, but that's okay. He'll get better. And he's already, like, really smart, so if he can just learn to integrate what he already knows into his intuition, he'll be super strong. Okay. Hey Revan, it's Antoine from the Twitch chat. First set with nothing in it, in which I did well and won. Second set, he won, so I'm wondering what adjustments he made. Oh, adjustments! Adjusting's hard, man. Alright. You want to know what he did different? I guess? Battle of the Titans is going to start soon. Oh, I kind of want to watch that in a bit. Alright. Anyway. Let's watch... this. Oh, Falcon Ditto. Is this going to be a Falcon Ditto? Falcon Dittos are extremely hard to analyze. Oh, is it starting? This looks like hand warmers. Yeah, this is definitely hand warmers. Yeah, let's skip the hand warmers. Alright. Let's look at the first game. See where he gets hit, see where you get hit. So he, when you're landing... Oh, there when you were landing, he pivoted back. That was pretty interesting. And then he did a weird pivot motion there. And you just got him, grabbed him out of it. Is he going to do that a lot? Is he going to pivot back a bunch? That's the thing to keep in mind. So when your opponent lands, he pivoted back and then forwards. Just in neutral. Right now it's not really neutral. It's just like an icky punish. So... what's going to happen? He lands? Wait, which one are you? Wait, which one are you? I guess you're the second player, right? Yeah, okay. Let's restart that then. Okay. Since you're fourth player, you're back airing a lot. You got grabbed there. Was that on landing? I think that was on a dash. I'm actually really bad at punishing landings. It's like only a thing I just started thinking about. So right now I really focus on it, but it's kind of like oh, I should probably do this. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. It's kind of like when you're Kirby here, and like your opponent jumps like here, right? Player 1. Like the moment they jump, you're like, oh shit, am I going to be able to up tilt him? Or your Kirby, or your Pika, or your Yoshi, or if you're any of those characters with like a good anti-air, the moment they jump, you're like, oh shit, is there like a super easy up tilt or up smash I can land in this situation? Your Falcon, your opponent jumps, you're like, oh, are they gonna land too close to me? Are they gonna really commit during this jump? Am I gonna be able to run under an up smash? Is that something that's like possible from this situation? And like you just really focus on it. It's the same thing for landings, only it's like when your opponent is like here, you're like, oh shit, can I pressure this? Right? Or maybe like same idea, let's say they're up here, player 1, and you're here. Except instead of being here like last time where you're like, oh shit, can I up tilt this? You're like here, right? And you're like, oh shit, where can he land? Well, let's say he has momentum this way. He can land like there. Oh shit, I'm going to be able to pressure him with the dash grab, aren't I? I'm probably not going to be able to F smash it, because if he escapes, then I'm done. But I could like dash grab pressure this like super fucking hard. Maybe I could. Yeah, I could do that. I could definitely do that. So it's the exact same situation as the up tilt. It's like as someone's landing, you're like, oh, up. Are they gonna get too close? And if they do, then you know exactly what to do. And if they don't, then you're like, oh shit, whatever. You know. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Do I want to save? No. Yeah. So you're just. I guess you are kind of looking for it, but like it's more like of like when you're in a situation you're familiar with it, like you get like an emotion like building up, right? You're like, oh wait, something significant's about to happen, and you know like it's going to be, oh shit, there's an up tilt here, or oh shit, there's a dash grab here, or oh shit, they're landing, maybe I should apply some sort of pressure to that, or oh shit, they're about to run into the corner, maybe I should take the side platform, or oh shit, they're about to land on top platform, oh shit, they're on the ledge and they jumped really quickly, so they're able. So if they continue moving forwards, they're not going to be able to land on the ground, and then they're going to perfect jump to side platform. You know, like if you pay attention to like a lot of little details and like really connect like that visual to like some sort of punish, that's like really good, really solid. I don't know if I answered that well enough, actually. So sort of looking for opportunities to apply pressure in general, and recognizing jumps as one way those opportunities come up. Yeah, exactly. You have to know when your opponent is weak. You have to know when you're weak. You have to know when you're strong. You have to know when your opponent's strong. You have to know why your opponent is weak when they are, and how to capitalize on it based on what they do. You have to understand how to yourself stay safe in situations where you feel weak, because you have to recognize what your opponent's options are and why those are threatening, and find out some way to avoid them. And yeah, you have to understand your threats, your opponent's threats. You have to understand why people are strong in different situations. Okay, cool. You're this guy. Oh, seems like he's going in a lot, and you're really backing up a lot. That's potentially a spatial problem in the future, but at the moment, I mean, he's going really deep. Yeah, he's going pretty deep to try and hit you. So you should probably just back up there. There you're standing like a little too close to the ledge. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Just, that was exactly the same thing. You saw, okay, let's say what that was. You saw him getting up, and you know that when someone's getting up, they're weak, so you just dash grab them when they're weak. Because you know, oh, when someone's getting up, a dash grab is very threatening. Right? It's an understanding thing that you then have to build into intuition. Oh wait, no, you are first player. Because I recognize none. I'm pretty sure this is none. Or nothing. No, I don't know nothing. I know none. Nothing? Which one are you, bro? Tell me. You have to tell me. It's extremely difficult for me to tell. Oh, wait, shit, you are first player. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Okay, don't worry. We're gonna continue watching this from your perspective. Don't worry. I messed that up a lot. Okay. You had that dash grab. That's just like a spacing thing. Why did he do that? That was really dumb. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what happens here. He grabs you when you're weak. Pivot up air? Yeah. Oh, you committed super heavily there. In that situation, it was really good because he had no space. Like, if he had a lot of... Like, if he was center stage there, that would have been a really bad play. But since he was in the corner, all of a sudden it's a really good play. And that's why them being in the corner is good for you, right? Because you'll have, like, things like that. Like, little tactics that work exclusively from the corner. Oh, that was good. You were kind of threatening the landing there. Whether or not you knew it. Very solid. Okay. So, it's really hard to take something from that game. That's the thing about Falcon Dittos, right? There were a lot of really awkward grab fests where you were just both kind of mashing grab. Oh, that jump felt pretty awkward. And he missed the up smash. So now you're getting a good punish on him missing an up smash. Oh, he didn't back up for that jump. That's something interesting. So it seems like he's not getting really good punishes, but you are at the moment. That a lot of these jumps feel pretty uncomfortable, but he's really not punishing them. He should be up smashing them more than he is. Maybe that's the adjustment he makes? Because right now he's not punishing you for jumping. You're jumping a lot, like in situations like that, which makes you escape the grab, but it actually brings you closer to the up smash, right? So it's not really very comfortable. Close to optimal from nothing. He went to in there. He's not really respecting your aerials. So, well, or it doesn't really matter that he's not respecting your aerials. It's just he's getting zero punish off of you jumping ever, right? Like he's not threatening, he's not punishing you for jumping. So you can safely jump in neutral and go for like aerials that maybe you shouldn't hit, but it doesn't matter because he's letting you go for them, right? That feels like a big thing to me in this game. So now let's look at the second set. So I'm going to pay very close attention to the jumps, the jumping. Whoa, what's going on? Okay. Oh, got a suboptimal punish there. But whatever, you're still gonna get the stock. Oh. Oh, no, don't go for that. So it seems like now you're getting pretty suboptimal punishes. You see there, he went way less deep off of your jump. He wasn't trying to hit you while you were jumping as hard there. He played the jump a lot smarter. So you're jumping a lot and he's doing a far better job of punishing you for it. These grabs I'm treating just like as if they're 50-50s. Thing is the jump. How does he deal with the jump? I guess he's also jumping. He's jumping a lot more now. You see? There, do you see how he dash grabbed to threaten your landing there? That was really smart of him. You see there, he went a little less in on the forward air, but you went really deep, so you got the punish. It seems like you're going pretty deep here. Whereas before you were playing a lot more passive and neutral. It seems like it was probably because he's playing a lot more passive and neutral. Yeah, he's playing a lot more passive and neutral. You were punishing him for going in a lot last game, but now he's just going in less. Okay. I mean, if I were nothing, I would have been focusing on your landings. I'd want to stay close enough so that if you were jumping, I'd be able to punish it. But it doesn't look like that's what he's doing. He's instead just playing more passive, because maybe he doesn't feel comfortable going in as much. Yeah, you're going in way more, and it feels like it's because he's going in way less. He's not getting hit by your defensive jump aerial, or he wasn't getting hit. So now in response you've started playing more aggressively. Your defense isn't giving you contact, and you've sort of shifted your game plan so that you're playing kind of too aggressively now, like predictably aggressively. Like the moment you start running, he knows that you're going to go in, right? Watch every single time you start a run. Let's actually reset that game. Let's watch what happens whenever you run. So you dash and you go in. You dash and you go in, right? That weird whatever. He punished your landing there. That was interesting, right? That was another thing I said he was having trouble with the previous game, dealing with those aerials. But watch what happens. You dash, you go in. You dash, you go in. You dash, you go in. You're really going in very quickly. You're not forcing him to be very patient. He can just, you're really rushing at him, even when you don't have a lot of pressure, right? And I think this is because he's kind of foiled your defense by, he's not really getting hit by your jump back aerials. In general, like, your jumping aerials are a lot less successful this game. And as a result, you're focusing on, like, these very heavy, deep committals of run-in grab, right? Now you see you're jumping back a little bit more. It seemed like for a bit you were jumping back a little bit more. Let's see what happens this stock, though. Oh, there he just got hit by the aerial. Because he wasn't smart on invincibility. So you're going to get a 0 death here, yeah. Oh, don't double jump there. And don't have smash there. I like run off nair a lot better. You're going in with aerials, and you're beating him with them. Now what's going to change this game? Keep in mind that these are Falcon Dittos, so there are a lot of 50-50s going on. You're just going in really quick, and he punishes you for it. You're really going in. You're gonna go in now, yeah. And then you're just gonna go in again. So your movement is extremely predictable at this point. He kind of knows when to be passive, and it's most of the time, to be honest. It seems like he doesn't really have to apply a lot of counter pressure. He can just kind of stay back, and you'll do all the approaching for him, right? Up B, punch. That's not an up B, that's a Falcon punch. Back throw? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Why didn't he just back air there? I didn't like the F tilt as much. I felt like Antoine could have gone through it. Yeah, you're just. I think what changed between these games is here you have very predictable movement, specifically predictable aggressive movement. The only thing worse than like being predictable and defensive is bad, but being predictable and aggressive is way worse. Cause in this game it's inherently just more difficult to approach than it is to stay back, right? I take it he wins this next game. Yeah, I'm convinced this is what it is. You're just going very deep. Very deep, a lot of times, when you don't really have the pressure. He should have fast fell up air there. That would have been so cool. Fast fell up air, double jump, Falcon punch. Ooh. Oh, I went pretty silent for a while there, didn't I? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you're playing too bad. You're just kind of standing in... You're landing in uncomfortable spots a lot. You're standing in uncomfortable spots a lot. And you're constantly approaching, right? You're really, really going deep. Watch what Boom does in this matchup. Try and mimic him. Going really deep. And the reason you're going deep, remember, it's important that you keep in mind who your opponent is. The reason you're going really deep is your defense all of a sudden was less successful. Or maybe he's just playing more passive. One of the two. Both things worth considering. Yeah, you see there? That's like... So that was a... I didn't like that play from Nothing. It felt like he kind of evaporated any sort of pressure he had. But the idea very clearly shows that he's just trying to play a lot more passive right now. He does not want to go in on you. You'll go in on him and it's just fine. Up air? Ooh, I didn't like that down air. Punch? Yeah. Alright, so from chat we got Christoph Ness. If you find yourself in a situation like this where you're going in and getting punished, what would you recommend doing to turn it around? Well, you could also... So the biggest thing is, if someone is playing purely defense, then they're like inherently giving up a lot of space. And the reason so many players have trouble dealing with defensive players is abusing a lack of space is actually kind of complicated, right? But that's what you have to do. You have to figure out why it's harder for him when he's fighting from the corner, right? Because essentially what you can do is you can just approach him slower. You can approach him with safer approaches, non-committal attacks. Instead of trying to grab him, just try and take his space. And then he'll back himself up into the corner. And then once you're in the corner, you'll have like really good, very threatening options, right? Once he's in the corner, he can't back up anymore. His defense is way weaker. That's one of the best ways to deal with someone playing defensively. Don't necessarily completely abandon your aggression, but more than anything else, try to be more safe with your aggression, or maybe less predictable with your aggression, or some sort of thing that'll make your aggression harder for him to deal with, even if it relieves some of the pressure it deals, because he'll still have to back up, or he'll have to play a little bit more aggressively. One of the two. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's everything. I've been streaming for an hour and 12 minutes. Gonna go watch Snosa. I recommend everyone in chat go do the same. Are there any questions from chat? I went over this game, this set, because it was recommended, and the other set that I wanted to watch. That was pretty interesting. Are there any questions that I could maybe solve in Microsoft Paint, if possible? This was great. Do you put these videos on YouTube? Oh shit, I should do that, shouldn't I? So I mean to, but I oftentimes forget to. I don't even know which ones I want to upload, to be honest. Not that one, not that one. I think these two are good. Yeah, those two were good. And might as well just upload that one. Okay, yeah, sorry. I probably shouldn't be organizing which videos I'm going to upload right now. But yeah, I upload these to my YouTube. My YouTube is RomRevan. Try and find it if you want to watch what I have. I try and only upload these if I say something mildly interesting. Like, if I have to use Microsoft Paint, I'll usually upload it. Yeah. I think that solves the question. So we're going to watch Snosa. We're going to get to see Aize versus Boom. I suggest you look for these key ideas. Think about when they're playing each other and contact is ever made, or any sort of interaction happens. Try and think about these three super important aspects. Time, space, and predictability. See what, I think you probably say interesting things more than you think. Maybe. Yeah, you missed your match analysis. I went over both. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's in the VODs. But I suggest when watching Snosa, try and keep these things in mind. Try and keep in mind what like the very, very top players care about. Ize is like super good at this, but also really good at this, right? Boom is really good at this and really good at this. Like insanely good at like, I think this in particular he's so good at. But like, well, no, more this. I think Boom has phenomenal spacing at this point, and Mariguas is pretty good at these two also. Good thing to keep in mind. For someone who's a relative noob like me, just listening to you go through your thought process when you watch is very helpful. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Okay. That's good to keep in mind, I guess. I don't know. A lot of these things I just like do, and I like just put on a match and watch them and play them. So if I don't say anything that like sounds interesting to myself, then I'm like, oh shit, maybe that's something I should go think about. Maybe that's something I lack in my play that I should go analyze. That's what I consider interesting. Something that I haven't considered before, which might be a little imbalanced because not everyone has thought about not everyone has thought about the game as much as I have, right? I feel like space would be blue, right? Space would be blue, time would be red, and predictability would be green. Yeah. Okay, anyway, that's going to be the end of this stream. I greatly recommend everyone go watch Snosa. It's over at the LAS stream. If you're on the NA page, the 64 NASSB 64 page, it should be linked there. So head over there, watch some high top level Snosa videos. I don't think top 8 will start for a while, but like I really want to see top 8 and top 4. I think that's going to be really interesting. Top 5, the top 5 players I want to see all play each other. And actually I want to see Dexter too. Damn, top 6. Okay, anyway, see you guys later. Best of luck. Think about things, and you will inevitably improve. Alright, see you around.